And the insight most people miss: the same ChatGPT your company uses just became two completely different products. You probably didn't notice it. Most people didn't. But sometime in late 2024, if you accessed ChatGPT from the United States versus China, you weren't just seeing different languages or UI tweaks. You were seeing fundamentally different AI systems, trained on different data, optimized for different values, and increasingly designed to serve incompatible worldviews. What started as Goblin Mania, a viral meme phenomenon where users tried to get ChatGPT to generate increasingly unhinged fantasy goblin characters, became the canary in the coal mine. American users could jailbreak the system, push boundaries, generate absurdist content. Chinese users couldn't. The system wasn't refusing more aggressively in China because of some surface-level content filter. It was because the underlying model had been fine-tuned differently. The values were baked in at a deeper level. This matters enormously, and here's why nobody's talking about it yet. We've been operating under the assumption that AI would follow the internet's path. One global product, minor regional customizations. That assumption is dead. We're not heading toward a unified AI ecosystem. We're sprinting toward two of them. And that collision is going to reshape every strategic decision your company makes in 2025. Let's ground this in what we actually know. OpenAI didn't make a dramatic announcement about diverging products. They didn't need to. The evidence is already visible if you know where to look. First, the training data itself has fractured. US-focused models increasingly train on internet content, filtered through Western values: consent, individual autonomy, irreverence toward authority. Chinese systems train on datasets curated by state-aligned companies, emphasizing social harmony, collective benefit, and respect for institutional authority. These aren't bugs or moderation settings. They're fundamental choices about what constitutes quality training data. A model trained on different data doesn't just refuse different prompts. It thinks differently. Second, the user engagement loop has diverged. In the US, engagement metrics reward novelty, controversy, and boundary pushing. ChatGPT is optimized to keep American users hooked through surprise and creative freedom. In China, engagement is optimized around utility and trust. Users engage more when they feel the system is reliable, safe, and aligned with their interests. Same company, opposite engagement strategies. That compounds the divergence with every training cycle. Third, and most telling, the enterprise integrations are splitting. American companies are building on ChatGPT with the assumption they can do creative work, generate edge content, iterate rapidly. Chinese companies building on Alibaba's Tongyi or Baidu's Ernie are working with the opposite set of assumptions. They're not just using different tools, they're operating in different constraint environments. The evidence is scattered, but if you synthesize it, the picture is clear. We're not watching one product evolve. We're watching one company manage two increasingly incompatible products. The divergence will hit enterprises before it hits consumers. Here's the timeline I'm watching for. By mid-2025, we'll see the first major incidents where multinational companies discover their AI strategy only works in one hemisphere. A marketing department in California generates campaign ideas on ChatGPT, assumes they can replicate the process in Shanghai, and discovers the system won't generate the same creative output. Not because of policy, because the underlying model is different. Next, we'll see the emergence of AI localization as a distinct corporate function, separate from traditional localization. It's not just translating outputs, it's rebuilding workflows for fundamentally different systems. Your product roadmap in the US assumes you can iterate and refine based on edge cases. Your roadmap in China assumes you need to validate safety assumptions first. Finally, by late 2025, we'll see the first major venture funding round go to a company explicitly building bridge infrastructure, tools that let you run the same business logic across US and Chinese AI systems simultaneously. These companies will be worth billions. They'll also probably be founded by people nobody's paying attention to yet. The winners are specialists. If you're deeply embedded in one market's AI assumptions, you're about to get very valuable. Chinese AI engineers who understand how to optimize for state-aligned models will be in ferocious demand. American AI engineers who can navigate regulatory complexity while pushing creative boundaries will command premium salaries. Generalists lose fast. The losers are companies trying to build global AI infrastructure right now. If you're in the middle of a major AI integration that assumes one model works everywhere, you're about to have a very expensive problem. The cost of maintaining parallel systems will be brutal for the next 18 months. The surprising loser, OpenAI, if they don't move fast. If they're managing two products, they're not truly winning in either market. The Chinese system will always be constrained by design. The American system will always feel like it's leaving money on the table. They could get squeezed from both sides. Here's what I'd do if I were running a company right now. First, audit your AI dependencies. Where are you actually using AI? Which decisions depend on the system working a certain way? Be honest about which of those decisions would break if the system's values shifted. Second, start experimenting with multiple models now. Not because you're going to use them all, but because you want to understand their actual differences before they become critical to your business. Run your real workflows on US-trained and China-trained systems. See where they diverge. Third, hire for architectural flexibility. You don't need to commit to a single AI ecosystem right now. You need people who can design systems that can survive a world where your primary AI provider is suddenly only half as useful in half the world. Finally, treat your AI stack like you treat cloud infrastructure. You wouldn't bet your entire company on AWS without a backup plan. Don't do it with AI either. The split is already happening. The only question is whether you're ready when it accelerates. Follow for more on the future of AI and business.